Welcome to my YouTube channel. So in our last two sessions, we talked about how to remove duplicate records from a database permanently using first method, which was using RowID with group by option, and the second method, which was using RowID with self join. So in this tutorial, we're going to talk about the other two methods that we have using analytical function row number and analytical functions rank and dense rank. Okay, so we'll talk about the first method. So what row num so in so we need to keep first thing in mind that in all the methods one thing will be unique, that is make use of a row id column. So row id is something which will be inserted into the database, and that will be the physical address of our row in a table. Okay, and only using row id we can remove those records from a database permanently. Okay, so in all the methods we'll make use of row id column. So what row number function will do, row underscore number, it will assign a rank to the set of records, or to the combination of IDs, or to the combination of the unique combination of records. So row number is analytical function to rank the rows for each group of column or combination of columns. So if we have a unique ID or a primary key in my table, in which we have inserted records by mistake, and we know that the ID column is going to have unique records, and then we can just group it by ID column, and the row number will assign rank to each ID. Okay, and if we don't have a primary key column and we have to use combination of columns to find out the unique records in my table, then we can use combination of columns to find out the row numbers, the corresponding rank. So let's check this practically, how row number is going to help us in removing duplicate records from the database permanently. So in this row number, even if we are using row number analytical function, it is just to assign a rank to each combination of records. Okay, so at the end we'll be using a row ID to remove those records permanently from the database. So this is just to assign rank to each group of columns, and then we'll keep the latest, or whatever the latest record from the database, and we'll remove rest of the records using row id. So in this also we'll make use of a same table. I have rolled back this data, and let's just try to execute this query and see what we have in our table. So as you can see, we have duplicate records in my table. Now let's see how row ID is going to help. So first of all, let's just try to assign. So as we said that we have an ID column that is going to be unique. If not, then we have to take set of columns that is unique in my table. Okay. So as you can see, the first combination, the first ID is going to get the row number is going to assign a rank as 1. So the row number will be assigned in this ascending order. So the first combination will have row number as 1, and the second as 2, third as 3. So for this record will be having row number as 1. For this record we'll be having row number as 2. And for this also we'll be having row number as 1 and 2. And for 104 we'll be having the first as row number 1 and 2, 3, 4. Okay, so let's just check how this row number is going to help us removing duplicate records from the database. So let's just check first that how it is going to assign this rank value to this combination of records. So select row id. So we'll make use of row id in all the methods. Row id, and then row number. Select everything, id, name, comma, salary. Next, we'll make use of row number function. So we'll talk about its uses and everything in our next tutorial. We're going to talk about the analytical function and what is the difference between aggregate and analytical function. So in this tutorial, we'll just make use of these functions to remove those duplicate records from the database permanently. Okay, so row number, then we have over clause, then we need to partition our table or our result set using the ID column. So if you don't have the unique column, then you can use combination of columns, ID, name, comma, salary. So partition by ID and order by ID. Okay, so this is going to give me a rank for each combination of ID. Okay, so the first record will get the row number as 1. So let's just give it as an alias as rn from table name. Let's try to execute this and see what row number analytical function is returning for each combination of ID, name, and salary. So here we have used only ID column because I know that that is going to be unique. So let's just try to execute this query. So if you see, the first record is 101 is having rank as 1, 101. The second record is having 2, and the 102 is assigned rank as 1. So in the similar way, we'll have 1 and 2. Wherever we have 4 records, the row number will assign as 1, 2, 3, 4. So for 104, if you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 105, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And for the 15th record, as we have only one record, so the row number value will be 1. Now, if we keep only one record wherever this rank value is greater than 1, okay, so wherever this rank value is 1, just keep those records and remove rest of the records. So in that way also we can get the uh, records, we can remove those duplicate records from the database. So wherever this rn value is greater than 1, remove those records. So what will happen in case of 104, only this record will be there because this is having a rank value as 1, and wherever this rank value is greater than 1, that means 2, 3, 4, these records will be deleted from the database permanently. Now as we said that row ID is the column that is going to help removing those records from the database permanently. So we just need row ID from this query. So I will just give it a name as RID and select RID from this subquery. So I'll make use of subquery here. So that means this is going to return this RID. Okay. Now wherever this RN value is greater than 1, I need only those row IDs. Those will be removed from the database. Okay. So wherever this RN is greater than 1, select only those row IDs. Okay. So these are the row IDs. These are the 9 row IDs which we don't want in our table. We want to permanently remove these row IDs from the database. So I will just add delete statement, delete from DupTest where row ID in this combination. So wherever this rank value that we have assigned using row number analytical function, wherever this rank value is greater than 1 for the combination of ID, uh, remove those records from the database. So the records having a rank value as 1 will be there in the database. Rest of the records will be deleted from the database permanently. So let's just try to execute this query. So as you can see, 9 rows deleted from the database. Now just check the result, what we have in our your table now. So as you can see, we have successfully removed those records from the database permanently. So row number is going to assign rank to the combination of rows through which we can just identify that whichever row is having rank as 1 will keep those records and will remove rest of the records from the database. Okay, so the next method is using rank and dense rank analytical functions. So this is quite similar to the previous method row number. So the only difference, so we'll talk about the differences of rank and dense rank when we'll talk about the analytical function in our next sessions. Okay, so in this tutorial we'll just make use of rank and dense rank, and at the end we'll be using a row ID to remove all the records from the database, all the duplicate records from the database. So the only difference is the rank and dense rank, the both will give unique records when ordered by row ID. Okay, so let's just check this practically how rank and dense rank are going to help and how these are going to remove duplicate records from the database permanently. So we'll make use of the same table. So first of all, let's just try to execute this query and see what we have in our table. So as you can see that we have duplicate records in our table. Now first of all, we'll check using rank. So we'll make use of the same query that we have used in the row underscore number function. So let's just copy this. So the only difference is instead of row number, we'll have rank function, and this will be ordered by row ID. Okay, so let's see what we have in our table first. So we have duplicate records. Let's just try to execute this now. If you see 9 rows are deleted successfully, now check the result. So you have successfully removed all the records from the database. Now uh, let's just roll back this data, and you will see that how dense rank is going to remove duplicate records from the database. So roll back to get the table into previous state. So check the result. Again we have duplicate records in this table. Now instead of rank, we'll be using dense rank. So we'll just replace this rank function with dense rank. Now let's just try to execute this. If you see 9 rows deleted, check the result in our main table now. If you see, we have successfully removed all the records of all the duplicate records from the database permanently. So this is how we can remove those duplicate records from the database permanently using rank and dense rank analytical function. And these are the methods through which we can remove those duplicate records from the database. So you can make use of any of these methods, whichever you find as per your requirement is convenient. So you can just make use of all these methods. All these methods are going to make use of row ID. So first of all, you need to understand that what is the row ID. So I have copied this tutorial link here, and before this you need to understand that how to find out that how many duplicate records we have in our table. So for that, this is the link. So I'll copy whatever I have written here. I will copy it into the video description link, so you can just copy it from there. Okay, so thanks for watching my tutorial, and like, share and subscribe to my channel to get more updates.